Joe?
Yep, I'm ready.
Joined by Stony Brook head coach Joe Spallina following today's second round NCAA Tournament game. Coach will first begin with an opening statement. When we're ready for questions, please raise your hand, state your name and affiliation, and I'll call on you. Coach, begin with an opening statement.
Yeah, great lacrosse game. Tip our cap to Syracuse. They played a great game. I thought they were, great on both ends. I thought, I think the difference in the game was, I think that draw taker and the magical stick that she had was difference in the ball game. We had to exert a lot of energy to gain any possessions, and I think it was if you compare both games, this game and the last game, it was 50-50 on draws last time. I don't think we were at issues. If you look offensively, we certainly had opportunities. 25 shots of their 28. But tip of cap to Syracuse. They'll advance. They're a great squad. I love my seniors. A special group of women that embody everything that's right with athletics in Stony Brook University, and it's been truly an honor to coach such an incredible group.
All right, we'll open up for questions. Raise your hand. I'll call up on you. Right here in front.
How are you? What's the challenge when Kate is winning those draws? What are you telling your team? What's the strategy of trying to wedge into her win so when she's on?
Yeah, she had some kind of stringing with her stick that just the ball was in her stick the second the ref said it. So if you understand, the sticks kind of go together, and there was something where just the way the ball was sitting, that it was in her stick pre-whistle. So she was basically being able to put it wherever she wanted. So it's I'm not going to get too deep into it, but it was odd just because we weren't running a rookie yet. We were running an All-American opposite her. And it was difficult to get the ball out of there. But, I think it's one of those things, right? We're not getting the ball, we're playing defense. I know it's odd, we let up 15 goals. We played pretty good defense. Just had to play too much of it. And I think early in the game where, they had 11 in the first half, and in the second half, the game was pretty even. You can't play make it, take it. They could, So it's a situation where you have to make a stop to gain the possession, and then your offense hasn't touched it in a while. So now you're trying to maybe score too quickly. But I will say this: we showed plays offensively. I don't think we took many possessions with shots where we really were weren't happy with the shot selection. It's just a matter you just couldn't get the ball out.
Just to follow up on that, is that something you want to check out with your stick?
Yeah, we thought about a possible stick check. There was something where when the sticks went together, her pocket expanded a little bit. And again, that wasn't based on us seeing one thing. It was our taker's a fifth-year senior, knows what she's doing. So there's just nothing. I think last game the stick was checked by Notre Dame. So we had a little bit of a heads up on it from another staff. But that's not to take anything away from her. She's incredible. So please don't chop my words up. Kate's one of the best, if not the best. Today she was the best. So kudos to her. But, I thought she won everyone to herself. So that she was not using her circle people. So I think that was certainly a challenge because our circle people are really good. So they were non-factors in the draws.
Questions? Right here to the left, Joe.
Coach, so many Syracuse connections with your kids and being able to have these opportunities to play this afternoon. Your sons are playing here tonight. What's this experience been for you as a coach and a father, splitting those roles?
Well, the nice thing is I had dinner with my boys the last couple of nights, so that's been excellent. The ability to spend time with them is priceless. I'm a family guy, so my kids are everything to me. So that obviously that part is incredible. This group, I think the way we have to do it at Stony Brook is different than other places. Everything is, it's Carrabba's versus real Italian, right? It's like homemade here, and we take players and we turn them into players, and we don't manage talent. We have to develop talent, and when it's over, it hurts more because you got kids that come out of high school, no one really knows who they are, and they leave here as All-Americans and having these great storied careers. So, that part, obviously, I didn't love the selection committee Sunday night. I think this was kind of a ridiculous situation. If RPI is the thing, then how does 3 and 7 get put in the round of 16? Not a math guy, clearly not a math guy, but to me, you release mid-season rankings where you base everything on RPI, and then when the bracket comes out, obviously RPI is not part of it unless 7 became 14 somehow. So, but that's a different situation. But obviously excited for the opportunity to watch my boys play tonight. They were at the game here today. So it was great to see them, and they're going to be in a pressure situation tonight, and they're born for it and fired up for the opportunity to watch them advance tonight.
Right here in the front.
Coach, last time you played Syracuse, you talked about how your team, your squad is constantly disrespected. Not by other schools, but by the overall general audience, I guess you could say. More like this special I guess, like you just mentioned. I was sort of hoping if you could talk a bit about just the overall effort your team gave for the season and how you feel they have performed compared to the respect they received.
Yeah, I love our kids. Our kids are studs. They're awesome people, awesome women. They'll make the world a better place. We have such a connection because it's real. That the parents just went through it. All of our parents hugging their moms and dads and thanking them for the opportunity to coach their daughters. So that's something where it's not the loss. It's more not being able to coach them on Monday. It's the part that hurts. As far as disrespect, that kind of stuff bothered me a lot more when I was younger. As a younger coach, we know what we have to do. We understand what we're up against. So that's all part of the job description, unfortunately. But Ellie Massera is, in my book, the best player in the country, and what we ask her to do and what she has to do, that's crazy. We have, our seniors are awesome. Kaylin Hart and Claire Levy is the best story. Kid never played club lacrosse. Went to watch someone else play. She played 3 sports. Kid was a multi-time All-American. Never played club lacrosse, which is how these kids all get recruited. So I could go on for days. I don't want to bore you, but I have obviously a really strong connection with our families and our players, and I think it's part of it.
Yep, go ahead.
Coach, you mentioned Massera, and after the game, there were a few other women on your team who got a little emotional. Massera did not. She kept it cool. I was sort of wondering if you could talk about her leadership both on and off the court, on and off the field, and what she brings to your team. Yeah, listen,
it's when you lose this and your career's over, it hurts. It's like a death. I know it sounds crazy if you haven't played high level. It just hits different, right? It's like almost like some people cry at a funeral, some people won't, right? And ultimately, that's kind of what you have there. Ellie was shattered. She had a stone face on out there. She broke down in my arms over there. She was a wreck. So I wouldn't judge anything by that. Our kids care a lot. It's important to them. They're really, really good friends. I think, they're what they've done for the university. We've been in the NCAA Tournament, I don't even know how many times in a row, a lot.
11.
11 straight times, and we've won a game, I think, 10 of the 11 years, in the tournament. So, I think they are it's just a special group. So Ellie should, she's a finalist for the Chihuahua, as she should be. I think pound for pound is no one better there.
Thank you.
Right here.
You mentioned how Stony Brook has been to the tournament pretty much year after year, but a lot of the time it's been you either win a game and then exit. How do you kind of get over the hump as a team to kind of make it further in the tournament?
I don't know if there's a right answer. If you look at where we've been placed, you got to beat everybody to win the whole thing anyway. But, we've gotten placed with, I don't know, somebody had a stat today about the amount of times we've gotten the 1 seed or, is this a round of 16 game? No offense, guys. I know a little bit more than you guys know. Like, it's not a round of 16 game, based on the first game and this game and all those things. So I don't know if there's an answer, I would have it. Hopefully we'll see. Obviously, the end of the season is a lot. I think, I'll have some personal thinking to do as far as the future. And, right now I'm just going to try to get over, our fresh, our seniors.
Gonna go there first.
Joe, when it was 7-5 and they went on that 4-0 run to kind of pull ahead there, just take me through what happened.
Yeah, it's on us. We had 7-5. We have the ball. Saw something, threw a pass, picked off down the other side. You know, it's hard because we had to play almost perfect offense because we weren't getting it a lot. You know, so you almost had we talked about kind of letting them look in their rearview mirror, let them look back a little bit. We got to put the little fear in them, let them tighten up. But they're a veteran group there too. You know, they have a lot of seniors that have been in these situations. So, you know, it was going to take more of them. You know, that was a big play though. That was a pickoff. The girl reached out one hand, knocked it down. I thought that was probably the turning point of the game. So if you're a pro, and it's good that you picked that up because that was one of the things I spoke about after the game with our assistants. I think we got that to 7-6. Maybe it's a little bit different of a momentum swing.
Go back right here.
Coach, you mentioned that you have to do some personal thinking of the future. What do you mean by that?
That's a good question. My family's important to me. You know, I got to make sure everything works out for, and things. I don't want to miss my boy's career, my daughter's career. You know, obviously, she's a junior in high school. I can't predict the future. Right now, everything's raw. So, it's probably not the greatest. I probably shouldn't have brought it up. But, for me, it's, I got to, life goes fast. I think one of the biggest mistakes you make in life, thinking you have time. So I think for me, I want to be around, be a good dad.
I understand that you might not be able to talk about this, but is your future with Stony Brook?
I love Stony Brook. So if Joe Spallina is coaching next year, it'll be at Stony Brook. I love Stony Brook. It's a great place with great people, with great players and great families. So the only thing I'll say is if Joe Spallina is on the sideline next year, it'll be at Stony Brook.
But there's not a 100% chance that you're on the sideline next season.
What's that?
But there's no 100% chance that you're coaching next season.
You know what? Right now, I'll say I'm gonna be back on the sideline. But I think for me right now, I gotta let some wounds heal, and I gotta make sure I'm a good dad. That's the first thing for me, is being a good dad.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. Any last questions? Cool. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Oh, one other thing I would like to talk about, and this has nothing to do with us losing, but I was disappointed with the fact that our team was put in a tent with mud floor, and it really was not the best situation. It was disappointing. I think women deserve a better setup for an NCAA tournament game, a round of 16 game, that we have kids played their last game and they couldn't get changed in the tent that was provided. It was straight mud. The locker room situation, they were in Ensley and had a nice room, and we were in mud. So that to me was, and has nothing, I'm not being a sore loser, because if you know, before the game, I had a problem with this. But I just think when you look at women's athletics and the importance of equality, I think locker room situation, Towson will not be in a mud locker room tonight. I can tell you that. So that was disappointing to me, and our players just deserved a little bit better of a situation. I know some situations you can't control, but I can tell you we don't have the facilities they have here, and if Syracuse was at Stony Brook, they would not have had a mud floor. It was like the Bordy Barn, our tent. I don't know if you ever been to the Bordy Barn, you young guys? That's what it was in there. So that was disappointing, but that's also not me being sour. That's just me wanting the best for my players and my women, just like you guys would want if you have daughters in that situation. So I just wanted to add that, which is something that, again, if I'm not fighting for our kids, who is?
Did you express that to either Syracuse or the NCAA, whoever you had?
Yeah, I reached out to the IWCA president pregame, just so nobody could say it was sour grapes. I addressed it with the site, who's not his fault. He's going to be doing what he's told. And I know our administration was equally as upset. I just think these are great opportunities, when you're in a situation, you're fighting for TV and stuff like that, and really good exposure for the sport. There's world-class athletes, and I know that if Syracuse was on the road, Joey Spallina wouldn't be putting his cleats on in the mud.
Is that more, you think, on SU as an institution or the NCAA for putting two games in the same place back to
Not my circus, not my monkeys, but I will say that if this was at Stony Brook, Syracuse would have had their feet on pavement, or maybe that turf that you lay on the floor so women aren't standing in mud with white socks and that kind of stuff. This is not me being sour. This is just wanting what's right for women in sports and equality, which they're deserving of. All right?
Thanks, Joe. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.